In this session we will be discussing, my father has the same name as my husband, is that a problem? The question is, can you marry someone who has the same name as your parent? And the question goes both for the man and for the lady. Can a lady marry a husband who has the same name as her father? Can a man marry a girl who has the same name as his mother? There is a practice in many communities not to marry a spouse who has the same name as your parent. The source of this custom comes from the Tzavor, the Will and Testament of Rabbi Yehuda Chassid. He was a great German Torah scholar and a Kabbalist who lived in the 1100s. Despite the fact that Rabbi Yehuda Chassid doesn't bring many reasons behind his instructions that he left in his will, many communities accepted these customs due to his great Kabbalistic knowledge and accepting that these instructions had great Kabbalistic significance. However, in fact, this halacha is brought down in the Shulchan Aruch, in the Piskei Tshuva, in Even HaEzer, Siman Beis, chapter 2. The Piskei that is includes the laws of who one should or should not marry. However, just to be clear, this only is a concern where the exact and full Jewish names are identical, such as the mother and the daughter-in-law both having the name Rus Gittel. However, there's no concern if only one of the Jewish names are identical. If the mother-in-law is called Rus Gittel and the daughter-in-law is called Chana Gittel, there's no concern. Similarly, if the civil names and non-Jewish names are the same but the Jewish names are different, there's no concern. However, this should not be a reason to turn aside a potential suitable spouse. As we'll see, there are several solutions to the matter. Let's first examine some reasons behind this instruction, and then we'll be able to see the solutions which the poskim, the halachic authorities, posed. There are two main reasons brought down in the poskim. The Chidor brings down that since this is unusual arrangement, it attracts attention, therefore could lead to ayin horror, to an evil eye. However, most poskim, they say that the reason is that this could lead to a lack of respect of one's parents, to a lack of kibbud av v'em. And there's three main reasons given. The Maharil explains that this will cause that a son will not be able to honor his mother after death. He won't be able to call his daughter after his mother. However, if that's the problem, there's a solution. As the Beis Yitzchak explains, that if the mother had two names, one would still be able to honor her. A second explanation why this would lead to a lack of kibbud av v'em is brought down in Even HaRoshah. He says that this could cause a person to violate the halacha that prohibits mentioning or even uttering one's parents' name even when they're not in their presence. So if your spouse has the same name, you will mention your parents' name. However, poskim say that this halacha that says one cannot utter one's parents' name even when they're not around only applies when the parent has a very unusual name. However, if the parent has a common name, such as Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, or Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, that would not be a problem. A third reason why this marrying a spouse with the same name as a parent could affect kibbud av v'em is brought down in the Sefer Beis Yitzchak. And that is that one may call one's wife and one's mother may hear and come, and that could lead to a sinful result. This reason may have been particularly relevant in the old days when you had a few generations living together in close quarters. However, despite the fact that there is this instruction and communities do adhere to this custom, the poskim, the halachic authorities, find ways around the rule. And there are two main approaches. The first approach is that they lessen the effect of this instruction. This is brought down in the Piskei Tshuva in the name of the Chachmas Adam, where he says that if you read the Will and Testament, the only thing which Rabbi Yehuda Chassid forbade was if three generations share the same name, such as a lady marrying a husband or being set up with a man who has the same name as a father and as a maternal grandfather too. Similarly, the Noda B'Yehuda said that Rabbi Yehuda Chassid's Will and Testament was only said for his descendants and it wasn't said for the general public. However, based upon that, Rabbi Moshe Feinstein in the Igros Moshe writes that if someone is not particular about this and he's not concerned, he doesn't have to accept this custom. However, if people do have this custom, there are still solutions. And that is brought down in the Sefer Even HaRoshah, which he said, if you will call your spouse by a different name, then your parent's name is permitted. So, for example, if your spouse has two names, you could call your spouse by the second name. This way you will not come to violate Kibbud Avim. Let's say your spouse only has one name. There still is a solution. Your spouse can add another Jewish name. This is generally done in the shul, in the synagogue, in the course of reading of the Torah. So, to summarize, there is a custom in many communities not to marry a spouse who has the same name as one's parent. Other communities don't have this custom, and if you're not particular about it, you don't have to worry. If that is your custom, the solution will be to call your spouse by a different name, either by an existing name that they have, or by adding another name.